It's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to share any helpful tips that I can with my experience as a social worker. I've I've helped a lot of different patients navigate various goals throughout the years, and the goals are as wide as patient diversity. So it's really what you want to do, and there are some pretty clear tips and pointers you can use for any goal you set for yourself. So thanks for allowing me to be a part of this for everybody. Um, I can share a couple of resources too if you guys find that to be helpful. There's a book that I find to be really helpful at talking about different habits and how to get them to stick. And then there was a coping skills video that I did. It's more lengthy because it goes through specific details on habits um, in a more detailed way, I guess. So I can share those too. But one of one of the things that I was reading about as I was looking at the link from our cancer fighters is that motivation piece, right? Like, how do I stay motivated and keep going? There is my favorite quote that I hate in regards to motivation is motivation comes after action. And I can't remember where I read it from or saw it, but I know what that quote is trying to tell me, and I don't like it. Which is fine because I don't have to like it. I can still choose to take action that moves me in the trajectory of my goals. So even if that action seems small, if it's helping me move in that trajectory towards my goals, that's what really matters. And that's kind of what I encourage to people all the time is we can stop and take a minute to think, is this helping me on that trajectory? And I say trajectory because there are so many different ways to get to an end point, and we're on that pathway somewhere. So it might zig and zag. We might have some ups and downs. We're humans, so we need to be a little bit flexible with ourselves too. Um, a lot of our population also is going through some pretty difficult stuff. So you have to remember that your body is fighting really hard. It might not look like it on the outside, but that level of fatigue or some of the other symptoms, side effects you might be having, it's your body telling you, like, I'm working really hard on the inside. So that can be another reminder for yourself. You can put a sticky note on your mirror to remind yourself, like, hey, my body's working really hard on the inside. Like, it's okay to be flexible. Be kind to yourself. Um, a lot of, and please do chime in if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer or clarify anything. Sometimes I just get rolling and get really excited. So just tell me to take a minute if you need one. Studies have shown that habits stick when small changes are made over time. So another thing that I wanted to suggest is making sure that um, your changes, any of the habits that you want to work towards, don't feel overwhelming. I don't want them to feel like homework. So we break down any goals into small attainable action steps because it's really those small actions over a long period of time that make the change. I think about a polar plunge like here in the Midwest. People like to jump into the lake when it's frozen, and that's not for me, but if you want to do it, that's totally fine. And habits make me think of that polar plunge. Like the people who jump into that lake, they build up the courage, they're all in, they go for it. And how quickly do they want to escape that water, right? I feel like habits can be like that also, where if we can throw ourselves at it, we got all the encouragement, we're going to do the thing. And then that's too disruptive sometimes to our system. So that's my little reminder of how things might not stick if you just jump right into them. So I usually will consider meeting with somebody, talking about what their goals are. We brainstorm ways to move towards that goal where it doesn't feel like work. We create a plan and are flexible with that plan. So typically what I do is I say, well, okay, what's the problematic thing right now? What do we want that to look like in a year from now? How do we break that up into a short-term goal, and then we'll check in 3 months. Like we'll work on these short goals, maybe three at the most, and we'll recheck in about 3 months to see like how we're going. Along the way we can modify things that don't work because everyone's a little different. So as you're learning something new and trying something different in your life as far as a habit, it's kind of like learning a new sport. So I tell my patients all the time, I don't play basketball. If you ask me to shoot a three pointer, I'm probably going to fail. But if I do a little bit each day, if I practice that sport a little bit each day, I'm going to get closer to my goal. It's the same thing with habits. So we're going to modify and tweak things as we go along. Um, my main my main thing is that call to action, right? Motivation comes after action. So the first thing is taking that step, whatever that step may be, act. When you don't feel like it, that's okay. Just do something. You don't have to like it. You don't have to want to do it. But if we take a step in that direction, the action makes the difference. So even if that's wiggling your toes in your shoes, visualize you doing the thing. Um, those can be powerful steps in getting that action to stick. I also use the term accountability. It's my favorite word now, I think. I encourage people to enlist an accountability buddy. So, um, journaling, I had a friend who we wanted to journal about some of our experience through cancer. And it's hard to relate to somebody else about the experience, but the journaling piece just wasn't as easy on my own. So we found each other as accountability buddies to we would share a notebook and I would journal in it and then I would share it with her and like she would journal and we would share our thoughts back and forth. Same thing with any other habits. If your habit is to eat better, maybe you have an accountability buddy that you can say, "Oh, hey, I found this new fruit that I kind of like. You want to try it?" Or maybe it's, "I see an elevator and I chose to take the stairs. I'm going to talk with my friend about that who's also on the same goal journey." Um, Kind of like a partner in crime, but in a good way. It can be a friend, it can be a therapist, it could be your pet. Maybe your pet is your accountability buddy. I have to take my dog for a walk. He's going to be more happy if I take him for more walks. So maybe I'm going to do that once a day instead of once a week, or twice a day if you're already doing it and you need to be more active. It could be your pastor, your coworker. Um, a lot of people will turn to social media too and have a support group. You could turn to your support group for that accountability buddy piece. And when you don't feel like doing certain things or your habits feel like you're in a slump, call those people, turn to your circle, tell them how you're feeling, process through it, and it's okay to have those moments. You're human. Another thing I recommend is pairing a habit you already have with this new habit. So maybe it's, I need to feel better about myself. Okay, that can be a big one. A small step in that direction is looking at yourself in the mirror, standing in superhero pose, like your shoulders back. You can almost stand in like a first position, like ballet, with your one foot here and your heel perpendicular, and like stand in that prominent posture where you're tall in front of the mirror. If you are not going to remember to do that, that's understandable. Pair it with something you already do, like brushing your teeth, washing your hands, going to the bathroom. Those can be your cues to say, "Oh, this is my time to re engage with the power that I have within myself," as you're washing your hands for 20 seconds or as you're brushing your teeth. I have a patient this week who actually said, I do need to go for walks more often. I think I think every morning I'm going to set my new gym shoes right next to where I put my purse when I come home from the day. So that way when I put my purse down, my shoes are right there and I can put them right on and that's my cue to like go for a walk. I said, "That's beautiful. Make it work for you." Cues are really helpful. So you could do sticky notes. Um, Put them on your mirror for encouragement. Make it fun. Anytime you have an opportunity to make something fun and laugh, do it. So you could watch silly videos about different habits and get some ideas from that. I'm not talking about spending 4 hours on YouTube or TikTok though. That's different because we can easily fall down that rabbit hole. Considering your goals too, you're going to have to start with that. So if I'll give you a little bit of examples today, and then you can kind of run with them on your own. But if it's to drink more water, I can pair that action with something I already do. Like each morning, I have a coffee. Maybe before I drink my coffee, which is dehydrating, I drink a glass of water. And I can even amplify that by turning it into a breathing technique. So maybe I'll take my water and I'll go like this. Deep breaths in and exhales. So as I'm taking that drink in, I'm inhaling, I swallow, I exhale. So then you're even amplifying that into a breathing technique, which that big diaphragmatic breath pushes on the vagus nerve in your spine. Repeated motions of that have a calming hormone release in your body. So there are just a lot of different ways to amplify techniques. But again, it's starting small. Maybe I'm just drinking a glass of water before I have my coffee if I need to drink more water throughout the day. Um, Maybe it's me trying more hydrating foods. I work with a lot of patients, and I saw on the link from everybody that I don't know how to take in more hydration. Like I'm so sick of drinking water. It's really hard. Maybe it's moving to something different. Like, well, what are hydrating foods that I can incorporate into my diet? And you can work with the nutritionist on that too. Um, Eating is a big one. I myself love food, so I will eat whatever I can because I like different flavors and experiencing that. Comfort foods, oh yes, give me the pizza, the mac and cheese. I've seen a lot of different posts and work with people on eating. So maybe it's reframing. We might need to adopt an explorer's mentality when we face aversions to our food or a limited appetite. So if you think side effects from infusion, maybe you have a limited appetite, maybe taking a more fun approach to eating. I'm an explorer. I'm going to see what's out there and see what I like. Maybe I have an eating party where I have my friends bring something that they like from their house and we just try different things and play around with it. There are even different food charts that you can say, well, it looks like this, it feels like this, the textures, it has a smell to it, it kind of tastes like this. What does it sound like as I'm eating it? Anytime you can integrate your five senses into something, it brings our mind to the present, which is always something great to practice. And so being more playful with your food in that regard could be a good start if your goal is more healthy eating or maybe just a better relationship with food. On the other side, we have the comfort eating. So if that's where I'm really stressed out and I'm comfort eating, your goals might be stress management. So what other things am I going to integrate when I feel stressed out? Um, Exercise, if exercise is a goal, what am I capable of, first of all, because we need to make sure that all of our goals are safe for us. You might want to consult your physician just to make sure that anything is going to be appropriate for your level of care right now. Um, it could be as simple as when I wake up, I sit at the side of my bed and I can do some ankle rolls. So I'm just rolling my ankle, flexing and bending, waking my feet up slow before they hit the ground. It could be laying in your bed and setting an intention for the day, like today I'm going to take one flight of stairs. I don't have to take the whole length, but I'm going to take one flight today. Cool. Again, considering what are the habits I already do each day, wash my hands, brush my teeth. While I'm brushing my teeth, I can do calf raises. Okay, where you go up on your tiptoes and back down and up on your tiptoes. That's something small. If you feel like you won't remember to tap in, reminders, sticky notes, set an alarm on your phone. Um, maybe have an accountability buddy to reach out at random intervals where you feel like you'll need it. Wednesdays, I'm really worn out. By Wednesday, I need to pick me up. I'll tell my best friend Jennifer to give me a call on Wednesday nights just to like check in. It's okay to ask people to step in where you need them most. If I'm chair bound, maybe I'm doing arm movements. Oh, stretches are so good for us. Taking time to do some desk stretches, really opening up those shoulders for all the work that we do on our phones and computers. So, progressive muscle relaxation can be one too. That's where you start with squeezing your toes, release, squeeze your feet, release, squeeze your calves, and work all the way up the muscles of your body. That's progressive muscle relaxation. So, there are a lot of different skills to integrate, but keeping them small and attainable is, I think, one of the best tips that I could offer. I don't want anything to seem like work because if it seems like work, we're so much more likely to kind of not enjoy it, right? And we want to work towards our goal. So stay positive, give yourself lots of hugs, like encourage yourself, remind yourself of how hard your body is working right now, and bounce ideas off of people. Like, ask the people closest to you what they think because they probably know you best. So, am I setting an attainable goal for myself? Well, shoot, if I am a high achiever and I function at this level all my days, I might not really know what my gauge is anymore. So that's where relying on a professional or some of your loved ones to be like, did I set a realistic goal or am I shooting too high here? Those can be really important things. Small changes over time, accountability buddy, pair those habits together, you'll be good.